channel, and today we have another video. Yay! I'm very happy about that. So actually today's video is about your questions and also some interesting questions that I found on the internet connected to writing. I just love doing this kind of videos from time to time because I think that we kind of get the opportunity to talk to each other about some questions and also to discuss them, which I love a lot. It feels like we're literally sitting next to each other or in front of each other and talking, drinking coffee and answering questions or having a friendly conversation with each other. And I feel like, again, this brings us closer and we are getting the opportunity to get to know each other and how we think. So firstly, I'll put up the questions that you guys asked. So I put a question box and I wanted you to ask me some questions connected to writing especially. So this is kind of a Q&A, but also like the writing and writer edition, which I think is pretty interesting. And all the topics connected to writing are, there are so many that it would be interesting to talk to you about all of those. So, okay. I'm studying English literature and I'm interested in how you start your writing. What makes you write? Okay. I'm so happy that you're studying English literature. I've actually, one of my mandatory courses at the university for my major was English literature, and I really enjoyed it, together with American literature as well the previous semester. So that, yeah, that's amazing. How I start writing and what makes me write. So I think that situations and feelings are the main thing that make me write. Whenever something is happening and I feel like it has some kind of an emotional impact on me, then I start writing. For example, if I see a situation that feels brings some emotions to me, for example, something that hurts me or something that makes me really happy, or a question that makes me think about different things, then I start writing. It literally comes to me and I have to write that at that specific moment. That's why I have a notes section in my phone, where I always write the things that come to mind. I don't necessarily post all of them. After that, I kind of filter and try to understand which ones I love more to post, and then which ones are kind of worthy of being published. But yeah, I always write there whenever it's a situation or anything, and I know that sad movies never ever fail to inspire me. So whenever I'm watching a sad movie, I can always write after that. So if I feel like I'm really blocked in terms of ideas or, poems, I can put a sad movie and just watch and write based on that. And also, well, sometimes series that I'm watching or books that I'm reading inspire me too. So it kind of depends. Whenever I feel like something has a strong emotional impact on me, then I start writing at that specific moment. Doesn't really matter what I'm doing. I'll just put it aside and put my thoughts down and then come back to the thing that I was doing before. I want to be a good writer, but I feel like I wouldn't want everyone to read what I write. Oh, that's an interesting thing, actually. Well, there are a few options for that. The first option is writing for yourself and not showing your writings to anybody. That way, again, you can be a writer, but you wouldn't have to show your writings to anybody else. But the only bad thing in that situation is that you won't be able to get the audience that you deserve and the audience that you need to become a writer. But if you're not thinking of being a full-time writer, then yeah, you can just write for pleasure as a hobby, and you don't really have to have an audience for that, and you can specifically share with the people that you want. The other option is posting them online or just somewhere on a personal site or something like that. Not using your own name. Like, you can have a pseudonym, you can have a specific name that you would like to be called, and then not disclosing your identity would be another way of you sharing your poetry or your writings. So you're kind of getting a win-win situation where you're sharing whatever you're writing, but at the same time, you're not disclosing who you are. But you have a talent, so go for that. One of those options. I think, this is actually a question which is not related to writing, so that's why I think I'm going to skip that question. I'm going to answer that question in a personal message, because I want this video to be writing related Q&A. And then, when and how did you come to the realization that you should become a writer? Okay. I don't really remember that specific moment where I realized that I wanted to be a writer. I guess it was I have a video about that, and the video is about how I started writing, and I guess the long story short answer is that I really wanted to become a singer who writes their own songs. But then, because of some things, if you're interested, you can go and rewatch the video. But I decided that I can't write music because the music part is not for me. I can write lyrics, but not music. And then from that lyric part, I decided that I really love writing and putting emotions and thoughts into words. And I started writing stories, and then I started writing books, and all of that went on and on and on. And my passion for writing started getting bigger and bigger and more powerful and stronger with every single day. And it actually still gets bigger and bigger with every day. And I feel that the other day I was like, oh my God, I'm literally in love with writing. I cannot imagine my life without writing. So I guess that's the moment where I realized that writing becomes an irreplaceable part of my life. That's the moment where I was like, ooh, I think I want to be a writer. I think I want my job to be connected to writing, because that's one of the most beautiful things for me. And yeah. Okay, so I found, as I didn't get many questions, I found a few interesting questions on the internet, and I wanted to answer those too. And also, people watching the video, please answer some of those questions, or maybe even all of those questions too, because I would be really interested to know what you think about those, and how differently you are from me, and how differently you think about those questions. So that would be an amazing opportunity for us to have a conversation and also discussion on those topics. So, what do you like to do when you are not writing? I like to dance a lot. I like singing. What else? I love watching K-dramas. I work out, I read, and also I try to develop my skills of writing and editing to be able to write. What about you guys? What do you like about audiobooks? So in the past, I literally hated audiobooks. I hate it because, not because that's a bad thing, but because my attention span is kind of short, and I have problems with focusing for a long time. And I used to listen to audiobooks and just draw something which I have absolutely no talent in. But yeah, I was just drawing or coloring something and listening to audiobooks. And then I realized that I got bored very quickly. I can't do only one thing at once. I am constantly multitasking. That's just, I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. But even if I'm watching a series, I can't just do that. I have to watch a series and create a video, a photo edit with my phone at the same time, and also, I don't know, do something else at the same time. So when doing that, I got really bored, and I left the audiobooks for a couple of years until I came to the realization that I can use the audiobooks in another way. For example, I can listen to audiobooks when I have something really, when I'm doing something that doesn't require my attention, or it doesn't really require my focus or a specific kind of care or something like that. For example, when I'm getting ready for work, I already have the clothes that I have to wear ironed. I have all the things prepared, so the only thing that I should do is wear those clothes, or just wear my jewelry and stuff. So those are like the technical things that I'm doing, but I don't specifically need to be really, really attentive and careful. Obviously, I know where to put my pants, where to put my t-shirt and stuff. So I listen to audiobooks, I focus my attention on that, and then I'm just doing the things that I can do automatically. So, and that's what I love about those, is that you don't really have to, you can still read a book and do something else at the same time. So to answer the question, that's the thing that I really like, that it's really convenient when you're going to different places. You can do that. You don't have to, for example, with the book, it's a little harder, because in the car sometimes when you're trying to read, because of the turning to from one direction to another, it kind of, your vision gets not blurry, but I don't know, I sometimes I start feeling really bad that the car is turning and the letters are going like this. So that's that thing. Hold on. What time of the day do you usually write? It depends. I would say that throughout the whole day. I write more in the evening and at night. But if there are things that are happening at the moment that make me feel really full of emotions, like for example, when somebody says something at that particular moment that hurts me or makes me really happy, I'm like, yeah, I have to write about it at this moment. I can't wait for the evening and night to come. What is the most difficult part about writing for you? The most difficult part, I would say, is understanding how honest I want to be with my readers. I am always for honesty. I want to be really, really honest, because I feel like honesty attracts people a lot. And that's really, really important. And but at the same time, there are things that are so personal to you that you don't really want others to know, just like the guy from the question said. So I think finding that balance and trying to be genuine with the readers, but at the same time sometimes leaving some personal things to yourself as well. What is your work schedule like when you are writing? Well, actually, writing is not my full-time job, so I would say that I have to align my writing to my job, not the other way around. I have to kind of find time to write instead of time to work. So it's sometimes I write before going to work. Sometimes I write in between, like the meetings and stuff, when something like is happening and I have to share it. Sometimes I write after work, like on my way home, or just when I'm lying in my bed, or at night before going to sleep, to kind of conclude all the things that have happened during the day. When you're writing an emotionally draining scene, how do you get in the mood? I've done that kind of a thing for my book. There are like breakup scenes and scenes where you have to be extremely hurt. First of all, I get in the mood for that particular day, meaning I think of a specific day when I have to be in those emotions. So there are days when I'm really, really happy and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna ruin my day with all of those emotions, because I'm extremely empathetic and I really, really go into that person's shoes. Like I feel that the situation's happening to me, so I'm not using those days for that. But I have days when I'm preparing myself for those scenes, I'm like, yeah, this day I have to be in a heartbroken mood because I have to write this kind of a scene or that kind of a scene. And the things that help me add up to the whole situation, the emotionally draining part, are different songs. I have specific songs which are meant for writing heartbroken and heartbreaking scenes, and those are actually the songs that I'm listening to when I'm writing really, really sad quotes. And then after that, people are texting me, are like, are you okay? Are you feeling fine? Like, is it about you or is it not about you? And I'm like, guys, it doesn't always have to be about me, but sometimes I'm really getting into those situations and it feels like in that particular situation. So there's this scene that I wrote for one of my books. I think it was in the Stealing the Bad Boy's Heart. Yeah, it was close to the ending. So there was this scene where she was really hurt, or oh no, not that one. Okay, so it was in that book, but it was another scene. So yeah, she was extremely hurt and so was he, and there was this kind of a tension and pain and at the same time love between them, and I had to portray those emotions, and I was really, really in the mood for writing. And so I was writing, and then at some point I realized that I was really in that situation, and there were even scenes, I think that one was two, but another scene as well where I was writing and I started crying. I started crying, and I was like, oh God, I'm really into all of those topics and I'm really into that situation. So that was the best like boom for me, when I can write and then be so much in that situation where I started crying, and I was like continued typing. So yeah, but I love scenes like that. Those are the most emotional ones, and those are the most powerful and the strongest ones. What are you reading now? I am reading a few books, which I don't think is really the best decision ever, but still. One is a professional one, so I think that's fine. I am reading Agatha Christie's. Is that how you read it? Agatha Christie? Okay, I hope it's right. Nemesis, and that's really, really interesting. And the other one that I have 3 books that I'm thinking of starting, but I guess I should understand which ones first. The first one is Elements of Style. That's again for writing. The other one is The Best Punctuation Book, period. And the third one is Internal Communications for Managers. But I feel like I'm going to start that third one first because I really, really need it for a training that I'm preparing. So yeah, those are the books. And also I wanted to start an audiobook, but I haven't really started one yet. And I'm thinking of an interesting one to start. Leave your recommendations below. Favorite quote. The one that comes to mind to my mind right now is not every day may be good, but there's something good in every day. I feel like that's a very, very positive one, because sometimes because of social media, we think that every day must be amazing and perfect and full of incredible surprises and just, amazing memories. But it doesn't really have to be like that, because we're ordinary humans, and whatever we see on social media is not always correct and not always really accurate. So a day might not be that good. You're like, oh, that was a terrible day. And you have to stop yourself and think about like, okay, so let's say today was a terrible day, but think of one thing that was really meaningful today and was a really positive thing in your life. For example, let's say you had a terrible day with no interesting things whatsoever, and you're like, but at least my family's really healthy, and at least we have this and that, and so that should be really meaningful and important for you. I think I'm done. Am I? Describe your writing space. I would love to say that I have a writing space. Oh, did I break something? Oh no. Okay, I would love to say that I have a writing space, but I really don't. It depends. If I'm writing at night, I'm writing when I'm in my bed. If I'm writing throughout the day, I'm either in a car going or coming to or from work, or when I was writing a book and now I've paused and I don't really have time to continue it. But when I was writing in the past, I just had to close the door and be alone in my room, and then I had to have only my computer, my earphones, my phone obviously to put some songs, and that's it. I just had to be alone in one room and just have my earphones, my phone, and my computer, and that's it. I didn't have to have anything else by my side or anyone else not to distract me from the writing process. And yeah, hold on. I can answer one more question and we'll be done. What comes first? The plot or characters? Oh, for me it comes... actually. For me, it depends. It depends on the book, because I have books where the first thing that came to mind were the characters. I'm like, oh, I have to create a character like this or that. The other one was the plot, and then I have another one where it's the title. So for me, those three categories work interchangeably. So I wouldn't say that there's only one option for me. What advice would you give a new writer, someone just starting out? Write. No matter what, don't ever think that your writing is bad. Don't ever think that you have to write for other people. Write for yourself. And continue writing no matter what. Don't give up if that's what you really love. And this is a piece of advice that I keep giving in almost every single video of mine, but yeah, it's really, really important. I have had so many moments where I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna write anymore because I'm not good enough, I'm not talented enough, blah, 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 I'm not creative enough and stuff like that. And then you have to push those thoughts away and continue writing, because if that's what you really want, if that's what you really love, go ahead and do it, and never stop doing, because the more you write, the more you're gonna practice and be better. But it doesn't really mean that you have to stop writing and then reach to a place where you're amazing or just qualified enough to write. So don't do that. Start writing as early as possible, and then write as much as you can. And that's it for today's video. And I'll see you in the next video. And thank you so much to the people who are watching these videos. It means the world to me, and I'm very, very happy to prepare these videos for you. And let me guys know if you have interesting video ideas in the comments below, or you can even DM me. Thank you so much. Put a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!